Let's go. Yay. Welcome into another podcast of Just Like Us. I'm your host, Justin Burtis, my lovely co-host,
Letty Zito.
All right, let's dive right into it today. Today's guest is a true symbol of redemption and purpose. Erick Rand is his name, and he is going to be joining us today here any second. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and bring the man up right here without any further ado. Let's bring the man up himself. Let's go. Erick Rand is in the building. Welcome into Erick Rand in the house. How you doing? How you feeling, brother? Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. God is good, man, and I'm gonna be on the show, man. We look, man. We matching.
I know. Look, we're all matching.
We look fresh to death. I just want to make sure you say something so I can see here. Your mic is for sure working because I'm here to cut out a little bit. Might be on my end.
Oh, y'all can't hear me. Y'all can hear me now.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
What about now? It's good?
Yeah, even better. It might be when both of us are talking at the same time, but either way. So welcome in from Jacksonville to Building Legacies in San Antonio. Erick's journey is one grit, grace, and transformation. He has turned his second chances into a mission, cutting through pain, shaping culture, and leading with heart. How you feeling, my brother?
Welcome. Bro, I'm feeling great, man. I'm just happy to be, alive today, bro. Some people didn't make it today, you know what I'm saying? And so just happy to be able to be here now, to be present, and just be able to talk about this movement that can guide others to transforming their lives, man.
Let's go. Okay. Shaping culture and leading with heart. Whether it's fatherhood, faith, or legacy building, Erick shows us what it means to walk bodily in purpose and boldly in purpose, no matter his past. Welcome to the mic, Erick Rand. So thank you for being here. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You guys could be anywhere in the galaxy or in the universe, at least in the solar system, but you're here with us today. So thank you guys for joining us. And again, what a great podcast this is going to be today. We've got a lot to dive into and unpack today. First of all, let me ask my lovely lady, how you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Thank you so much. Let me look at you.
Yeah,
you got a little
and
flower,
Erick,
everything.
Did we plan this? Yes, we did. Huh?
We did.
He was the first one of all the guests that we've ever had, you guys, that we have decided to match. And when he asked us, I was like, let's go.
He's got each of our colors on. He's got some of mine, some of yours.
You got the light background. Just making it happen.
Yeah.
It's cutting out a little bit. Maybe it's because we're speaking on our end. My bad about that, y'all, for the mic issues. But okay, so Erick, so tell us a little bit about yourself. We gave you an introduction, but tell us about your purpose and like what you really got going on here in life.
So I'm 28 years old. I'm a father. I have a beautiful daughter named Kendall. She's 6. I am a veteran of the Army of 7 years. I have transitioned out, and currently I am a barber, who's on a mission to changing lives and just mentoring the youth. And it wasn't easy getting this far. I never really envisioned myself becoming a barber. Before this, I was a CDL truck driver. And so I rode with on the road for about 6 months. And then I just decided, it's more, it should be more like to what I'm doing. And that's when I just found like the barbershop.
Let's go. Hey, okay. Hey, quick question real quick. Do you happen to know a Sean P by any chance?
I do. That's my boy.
Okay, look, he's actually, I think he just popped in real quick. Do you want to add him?
Shout out to Trey.
Hey, why not? Let's add him to the stream. Let's see what happens when we add him to the stream.
Sean
is in the building.
I have a question for you, Erick. I mean, you say you're a barber, right? And I go to my hairdresser, who is also a great friend, and I call it hair therapy.
Yeah.
Because when I go there, we just catch up on everything, catch up on our lives. I mean, we talk about like what's going on, what's not going on, what should be going on, what we want going on, right? We just, like, she's my personal therapist. So I call it hair therapy.
Yeah, I love
when
her.
I go to her.
She's awesome.
And she's amazing. Do you find that works that way for you?
Definitely, I feel like a therapist. I love to talk. I love to communicate, and that was my job in the military. I was a radio, so that was my job, just communication and making sure that one end gets to talk to the other. And we had a phrase. They say you could talk about us, but you can't talk without us. So
I like
you know,
that.
we build. That's all barbering is about. Building a relationship with your customer. So you never might. They come in one way, and then they leave out transformed. The haircut, it makes a difference. What's up, Trey? Welcome to the podcast, man.
Hi, Trey.
Let's go. This is the
What's
first time
going
for us.
on?
We don't typically pull people up, but hey, why not? You know what I mean? You're one of his friends. Any friend of his is a friend of ours, okay? So welcome in, brother. I'm
Yes.
Justin. This is Letty. And
Letty.
of course, Eric in the building. Welcome in and glad to have you here with us. We're just going over some of the things that we're doing, but real quickly, why don't you briefly tell us about yourself right now, too?
So my name is Trey Sean, Army veteran. I do a lot within the community with LGBTQ veterans and also trans awareness. So I do a lot of community building, bringing people together. So that's a big snapshot of what I do.
Let's go. Well, shout out to you for coming in, and glad to have you here with us and be a part of this. So we're diving into what impacts we've been making. I am a fatherhood coach, as well as obviously we're podcasters. So we're having a good time, and we're glad to have you guys here with us. Lady, how you feeling?
I still feel phenomenal.
Still feel phenomenal.
Hasn't changed.
Okay,
but I would like to say thank you both for your service.
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
I have family, in quite a few branches of the military that have served, and so I thank you for your service.
Awesome. Yes, thank you. So, Eric, I have a question for you, brother.
What's up?
So, two of them actually. So, how is bartending part of your mission, and why Psalms 23? What's the meaning?
So, can you ask that question one more time? I'm sorry.
I'll go with your first question. Is how's barbering part of your mission?
Barbering is a part of my mission because it, for one, it's a skill that I feel that all men should know how to do, at no matter what age, and to help another brother. Oh, I'm still there.
Yep.
And it's a skill that all men should know how to do, how to care for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And every time I sat in the barber chair, I didn't know what haircut I was going to get, and it was kind of frustrating because it's like your brand, type of cut you do. It calls for attention. It commands attention from anybody that's looking at you. So like when I want to have a haircut, I go straight to like one barber, and I stay. It also teaches you like organization, you know what I'm saying, and I just I just it just every time I get it just brings me like clarity. Like I feel better, I look better, and I do things better. I'll smile more. I'm not as sad, and that can make somebody's day, who's had like a bad day,
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can that resonates with me, right? I mean, I spent a lot of time I'd go to your super cuts, never a professional hair stylist, right? I went to a few and I didn't like it, and and I finally found someone that I've been going to for 15
good,
a long
since I've
time,
known
15 you, 20 years, close to that. But we're also good friends, right? We sang in church together, and she cuts my hair. I know her kids, she knows mine, she knows what's going on in my life. And the way she does it, she just does it intuitively, just knows, you know what I mean, what I like or what will look good on me. And I always leave there my soul feels good, my hair looks good,
Yeah. You do look fantastic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dwani for joining us, but you do look fantastic.
Yeah.
Let me just say she didn't go last month, we were a little short on money, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
okay.
Again, like it's something that definitely it builds confidence. You know what I mean? When
It
you look good,
does.
you feel good. When you feel good, other people can sense that and feel it as well. So I think it can help others around you in so many different ways. So when you do your part as a barber, man, I'm sure you people coming out there looking good and dusting them off, feeling great, man. So shout out for being the barbers in the house. You know what I mean? So, and real quickly, I want to say shout out to Dwanya. What up? What is tonight's topic?
Tonight?
We're talking about building brands, and we got Erick as our guest here. He's a barber, and Psalms 23. We're talking about Psalms 23. So we're getting into some of the parts of the Bible and some words. So welcome in to my sister Dwanya and anybody else who's watching right now. If you guys are in here, let's say something in the chat. Let us know you're here and you're feeling what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So okay, so I got another question for you. What does legacy mean to you as a father, Erick?
Legacy means generational curse breaking, healing. It means education, educating and leading, constantly, past 18 years old. It's a lifetime thing, ongoing. And so being a father, it just taught me patience, when I was young, I made a lot of mistakes, and I really didn't have I had role models, like my grandfather. He was in the Army for 19 years, Sergeant First Class, Erick Sr. And so I really felt like he could relate to me more of a like emotional level, and like, cause my father, he lost his mother when he was like 19 years old. And so that kind of made him like really like it hardened his heart. And so it kind of made him like it was hard to communicate certain things to my dad. But like my grandfather, I always went to his house every time I got in trouble. So like he was really more of like the disciplinarian. My dad was like the authoritative type, but my granddad, he taught me, like, when I got in trouble, he taught me lessons. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to paint his fences. I had to sweep his boat. I had to like do yard work. You know what I'm saying? And like it really taught me a lot. But he was like a father to me. Both of them were. But like they had like qualities about themselves. I could go to my granddaddy for more of an emotional support, but I could go to my dad for like he also taught me like yard work, but also he taught me like how not to depend on nobody. You know what I'm saying? And how to stand on my own. And and friendships were, and like how to not call everybody your friend, because everybody is really just like they're like guests in your show, And so what I usually do, I usually would just like place a value on friendship, sometimes higher than family. And sometimes, that kind of just growing up, I had to learn a lot of lessons, like, and just, it was like, friendship was one thing, and like, that's one thing I want to teach my daughter, like, hey, like, like making friends is nice, but every smile, that doesn't guarantee a friendship. And time doesn't friendship. It's actually what a person does and how a person show up for you when you have nothing, and like, that shows true character, and like
absolutely
have nothing, so.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And so even to touch on that a little bit is, I have had friends my whole life. I've had friends that I've literally known for 40 years. I'm 42 now. And I still got my homies and my brothers and people that I know from when I was 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. Like, I grew up with a crowd of people that I thought was the world. I didn't really know there was anything outside of this world. And now, like, one of my dearest, closest friends is Dr. Renee, and I've known her for a little under a year. And like, we are so tight that it just, I used to think that time mattered. I used to think that time was like the most important factor to have a long lasting friendship. But like with you, Erick, like we hit it off right off the bat. You know what I mean? We were talking the night, guys, me, Lady, and Erick, we were talking on the phone just a couple nights ago. and we were really hitting it off. It was like, wow, this is one of the relationships that, you know, automatically this is going to be fire. When you just meet that person and you know that it's golden, you got to keep this person around you. This is the kind of relationship that we already have with Eric, and it feels genuine. We were on, like, it was on fire. We just had so many golden things in common, and we started talking about the Bible, and I'm not heavily into the Bible, but Dewanya is, Richard is, people here, I know that Letty is, but it just felt natural to like listen to some of the things that we were talking about and engaging in them, and I felt really good about that. You know, one thing that you had said to me was, you know, I had been feeling a bit down, right? And he said, before we ended our conversation, our call that night, he said, hey, let me ask you something. Eric asked me this. He said, can I do anything for you? Is there anything I can do? Can I pray for you? And he's like, if so, what can I pray about? And it just gave me the whole body chills, you guys. You know what I mean? It just gave me those body chills. Where you're like, say less. You know what I mean? Say less. Anytime someone wants to pray for me, I'm with it. And so, you know, I told him a couple of things that I was going through, and he prayed. And guess what, y'all? Look, I'm not gonna say it is or it isn't directly related to that, but I can only assume that God works in His power and mysterious ways. The next day, Eric prayed that I would have energy to do stuff. And you see how we got all these set up here? These things took hours, y'all, to put these little checker mark things up here. It took so long to put these up, but I got the energy to do it. I was up. I don't know if it's directly related to that, but I can only assume that Eric's words of, you know, encouragement and the prayer that he said contributed to me and Letty being able to get up and make things happen, because we haven't been feeling to our top peak lately. And I'm telling you, something's triggered. Something's happened since we talked like 2 nights. I'm dead serious. I'm serious. You did something. So I just want to say thank you for that. And just, you know, what they say, the 2 or more in the midst, God is present, right? We couldn't figure out the saying, let's do it, but we know something like that.
He knows, God knows.
Yeah.
This isn't about like being able to quote every Bible verse. Because let me just tell you, and we talked about this earlier, Eric, right? When I was in the closet, you know, with a pipe and a bag with substances in my hand. And I couldn't think of any Bible verses. I just knew that there was this presence who loved me no matter what I had done, you know, what I was doing at the moment, who came in and set me free here, and here. Okay.
Right, let's go.
So
let's go. Yeah.
Thank you, God.
Okay, cool. So, and again, we're talking about Psalms 23 and the meaning of that. And again, I'm not too fluent with the Bible, but I have read the Bible. I will tell you this: I did read it in prison, from front to cover, from cover to ending. I didn't really get a lot of it. You know, I probably wasn't in the right mind space, but the idea was I was there. I was ready to gain what I needed to gain. And I'm telling you, when you're in a place such as prison or jail, like, man, you really see that there's really nobody there at times but God. And you have God to really, you know, what do they say? There are no atheists in the foxhole. You know what I mean? Like when you're about to die, but best believe you're praying, God, please, God, get me out of this. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be on my deathbed before I get back into the word and get back into God and understand, like, you know what? If all else fails, I know God's always going to be there for me, because man will fail you. And I'm not saying you guys specifically. I'm just saying man will fail you. I've seen it a dozen times.
I was going to say, shoot, we failed ourselves. I know I failed myself many, many times. It wasn't just other people, right, Eric?
You're right.
Or even, what is it, Trayshawn?
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it right. Yeah, definitely not.
Names are important.
Humans have flaws, and that's the thing, you know, and trusting in God, like, is really like the most powerful thing that you can actually do, because that creator is all in control of everything. He controls your steps. And it's interesting that we're talking about Psalms 23, because actually I had picked up a book. I found a book right now, and it has me actually saying Psalms 23 5 times a day right now. Like I found that book literally because I was stressed out, and found the book in a little, you know, one of those little libraries in the neighborhood. And I was like, man, this spoke to me. And that's how I received those messages from God, and understand that I'm in those right places. And I'm like, man, like sometimes I don't understand how I'm doing it, but every time that I come and I just sit and be still with him and be quiet and actually just sit and just like be with him, I start to understand everything more clearly, because it can be a world of noise for sure.
Right, oh yeah. Absolutely. And can we say, what is Psalm 23? Is that the one yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, or is that the Coolio song? No, that is.
That's how I walk.
Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at
we ain't
my
trying
life.
to take no
Anyway,
quotes and turn into anything else. So excuse us, forgive us. You know what I mean? But
listen, God's got a sense of humor. Come
he does.
on,
He has to.
like if he's dealing with me,
so I'm blessed. I'm too blessed to be stressed, right? Too anointed to be disappointed. You dig?
Right. It's about walking. Well, let's let Eric tell us what it is.
Go ahead.
Well,
I got the gist.
The whole thing, the whole psalm quote myself, but is I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I would fear no evil. And that to me, that means, and to me, like God is there with me when nobody else is around, you know, and God, he doesn't have like a comment, you know, he isn't bringing me out of the situation. He's with me in the situation. And like, that is powerful because like, that is like your lowest point of your life. Like he telling you through death, you know, you should not fear death, you know? I was I went to prison for domestic violence 5 years ago. And I had served the term of 11 months. And during those 11 months, that was one of the lowest points of my life that I dealt with. And during that time, I read 36 books. I worked out every day. I got up to like 170. I was at the strongest point in my life, physically, mentally. I participated in Ramadan at that point. Although I'm no longer Muslim, but my spirit was pure. And I took it was a book, but it's also a class. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I took that class, and like I became a better listener. Like I learned how to empathically listen. You know, I used to always think I was right, so I had to unlearn some cognitive distortions about myself. You know, and I participated in yoga, you know, and all these different like challenges, you know, were given to me, and I had to pray, you know, I had to find faith, you know, like again, you know, and that part of my life, y'all. I'm telling y'all, like it felt like eternity, you know. I was around people that was there for like longer sentences than I, and so. I'm like, I could complain, you know, but there's somebody in here that's going to be in here longer than me. So it's like, okay, that, like, I decided I had a choice. You know, like, I could either focus on the dark or I could either focus on the light. So I ended up focusing on the light, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Nobody.
I mean, I am. No, I'm kidding.
how perfect we try to be, only God is perfect. And so like I continue to call on him every single day. And you know, I found myself in like another similar situation. Like currently, you know, I got like a lot of court issues going on. You know, and so and I know a lot of people that's still behind bars today, you know, and it's like Psalms 23 to me believe is, you know, God, he isn't giving up on the ones that are lost, you know, and he's going back to get them. He's the shepherd. He's our shepherd, you know, and so everybody knows, you know what I'm saying? Like a shepherd's job is to make sure that all his sheep is together, you know what I'm saying? And so he counts them, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, and there's always that one that's lost. He goes back.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's the Lord God that I serve. You know. What I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Can I add a little something to that?
Yes. Go ahead.
Prison to me was by far probably one of the best experiences I ever had because I allowed that. You know what I mean? I went for 18 months for possession of stolen property. I was burglarizing houses at night where people were sleeping. Long story short, I ended up getting caught. Well, I didn't get caught. I got told on. But the point is, I ended up going to prison for this. And I went to prison, and they don't tell you when you're going to go. So I had this big afro. I had a real round afro. It was literally as big as my hands all the way around. I'll pick it out, and I made me a little window. And I was scared to death when they told me, they said, Bird, roll it up. So they sent me to prison, and I'm like, dang, I got this big afro. And it's like a tumbleweed, bro. It's like you just stick your hand out and put your hand in my hair. I'm gonna lose, whatever. So actually, I was on today I went on the NDOC, which is Nevada Department of Corrections, looking for my afro, my mugshot, because I want to be able to, because I'm going to the jails here as soon as I get the clearance to go to the background check to go and talk to the inmates, because I think, in those kind of situations, you're forced to be there. Let's just be honest. You're forced to be in a place where you don't want to be, but that place you don't want to be can be a blessing in disguise. And it was for me, because I found out while I was there, this wasn't something, I wasn't there for the things that I got caught for. I mean, I was, but I got caught for something so small compared to what I'd done. I realized I was there for all the things that I didn't get caught for. So it was a blessing in disguise, and I was able to, get my mind sharp. You really focus on me. I didn't really congregate and talk to anybody in there. So, and again, I read the Bible front to back, and I was really enjoying being in there, because I love people and I love being around, crowds and things like that. But prison, it was just like, it was scary. There's a lot of things that was scary about it. The noises, the people. I ended up having a cellie, and he had 2 life sentences plus 90 years, and I was like, wow. Like, I was like, man, I just want to go home. Like, let me be out of here. I don't want to be around these killers no more. I'm not a killer. I'm a lover. And so, but what it was for me, it was really it was a platform. It was a place for me to get me right. And so I allowed it to be something that freed me. I didn't what they call a knick-knack. I didn't just sit on the shelf or sit on my bunk. I went and programmed. I graduated high school. I got my body right, my mind right, and again, I focused on what I needed to do. And I ended up leaving prison. And the guards asked me, they said, hey, Bird, you want to come into the guards? They called us the bubble, and rap one time before you go, because I was a freestyle battler, and I was killing it while I was inside. And so they asked me to rap on the mic before I left. But again, this was one of the best experiences of my life, because I allowed it to. So again, that's like with anything we go through. If you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, there's definitely good things to be said, even about the worst things in life. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to add that to what you were saying too, because it was a great experience for me. I allowed it to be,
Yeah.
And unlike you guys, right? I went to jail one time my whole life, and it was the worst 12 hours.
12 hours.
Back in 2020, right? But I was in prison up here for most of my life, which is just as damaging. I'm free to go wherever I want. But in here, it was like there was this fence around me, like walls around me that were like, no, you can't go there. No, you can't. I'm like, but I'm free, right? But I didn't feel free inside, right? It wasn't until, I hit rock bottom for myself, which was I lost my identity. I lost who I was in this world. I believed all the illusions, right, of what makes you happy and what you need to have and how you should behave and how you should act. And, what you said, the shepherd knows, like he leaves the 99 to come get the one. I don't care who you are or what you've been through.
Because sometimes, like, you can be in a place and you can feel like you by yourself. And I just want to let people know that, it's people out there that care about you. You know what I'm saying? You can always, like, depend on God. You can always talk to them. Always there. And not, I'm still learning. I'm still, like, reading the Bible, picking up my cross, and dying every day, you know what I'm saying? And I just, continue to, be on this journey, and continue to influence others to do the same, and
go.
Well, I think, what the Psalm represents, right? It's we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We've got to die. I had to die to everything. We have to die to everything we think we are or we are not, or what we think is or isn't. It's a daily dying, right? But I did experience like a dark night of the soul, if you will, right? There was a death. I went through grief. I went through sadness. I went through rage. I went through anger in that closet, right? It was just me and God. I didn't feel like I could talk to anybody about that, right? And I had alienated myself. Probably the closest one would be my mama, right? Because she didn't give up. She, you know, she would call and check on me, and you know, but I needed to have this moment, right? This time with God, and allow Him to heal and seal some wounds. And there was like this rebirth. And I think even every day after that, there's, you know, a death that we go through. And it's a good thing. It's something that a lot of us try to avoid, right? Which is why we do things that we do, because we don't even accept ourselves.
We're always changing, right?
Always
adapting and changing, you guys. So I mean, anybody that says, you know, things don't like if they say, you know, things don't bother them, or if they say like they don't care what people think, I feel like, you know, maybe some people don't, but I think we need people. I mean, God didn't put us here to be alone, right? He didn't put us in here, and I've been alone. So have you, but I've been alone, like where I'm like, and I'm telling you what, being alone is like one of the scariest things in the world to me. Not having anybody tell me I'm an asshole, excuse my language. Like, I would rather have someone kick me in my giblets than not be here at all. Just, can you imagine be by yourself, you guys? Can you imagine not having anybody tell you who you are, or what to do, or how to feel, or what to, not that anybody needs to, because we got God, but we're not here to be alone. So I'm grateful for even the bad people, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm able to put myself around the good people like you, Eric. You know, when we met, and I'm like, okay, this is something I got to have in my life. And I'm not like that with everybody. You know what I mean? You just know good people when you see them. So I'm like, we got to keep this man close, right?
Yeah.
So here we are.
For sure.
I mean? Erick Rand is in the building.
Yeah. What about you? Is it
Trey
Sean?
Trey Sean, yeah.
That's who it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trey.
So yeah, definitely connection. I mean, I'm an only child, so I know what it feels like to be alone. And honestly, that is like one of my bad habits, is because I've grown up like that so much. I've isolated in a way. And, you know, my kind of awakening came from when, you know, I started using drugs really bad and went to rehab and got my life together. And I've been sober for by the grace of God for almost 7 years now. And by just helping other people, that has helped me to stay sober. So being around people, helping other people that need to be sober, and just anything and just life experiences I share. People tell me I'm the most vulnerable person. I'm like an open book when I tell people, like, I'm like, you want to know me, I'm not going to bring the mask on. Like, I'm full transparency. As soon as I meet you, you ask me any type of question, because life is hard and people need real people around them. And that's why I be so vulnerable in any moment, because at any time that could be the last time you see somebody. So somebody might just need you in that moment, and you just never know. So I'm just like, I just be so transparent with people. Seriously. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Love
I
that.
love
Absolutely, man. I'm glad we all met up too, because again, we usually don't pull people up on screen, but it's just someone was calling saying Trey's ready to get down or get up. I guess you could say so.
Bring them out.
Too blessed.
That was wild card. I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, let me ask you real quick, Trey. So did you see this on Facebook? Is that how you were able to jump on?
So I saw Eric, he had shared it on his Instagram. And then I just, I followed the link from there, and that's how I got here.
Let's go, Eric.
Yeah.
Way to go. Okay, cool. Yes, again. And networking.
Oh, no, I was going to say, and how we met Eric was through Biz Success Academy, but also,
yeah, he's alumni right now with
Spectacular School of Business.
So he already graduated and got back in, which is shout outs to that. You know what I'm saying? They really see something in this man. He's a golden. So to have him go back in, shout outs to that, as well as I'm still a captain within the Spectacular School of Business. So I'm still alumni as well. But again, there's no coincidence that we're here talking, because within the SSB, or Spectacular School of Business, I find that the community itself was gold. Like, I've met so many beautiful, wonderful people here. And here we are with another SSB star. Granted, what happened?
I used to be an SSB too. That's how me and Eric met. I'm a previous captain. I came in like in season 3. So I was there with Spec and them for a very long time. And then, I went and ventured out on my own to do my thing. But that's how me and Eric met. So it's good to see other spectacular stars out here for sure.
Both was captains. Lady was captain 7 seasons. Yeah. This is my 12th season as a captain. So I'm like seasoned, man. Let's go. You know what I mean? So again, it's good. And again, there's no coincidence here that we are all in the same. I did not know that, Trey. So So let's go. Shout out to Spec and the family over there, because we learned a lot. We gained a lot. You know what I mean?
Right.
We pivoted a lot. We did a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we learned. I'm just saying, we did learn quite a bit going into the Spectacular School of Business. You know who we have on in 2 days from now? Is Desmond Soon. Desmond Soon is going to be our guest in 2 days, so y'all got to come for that and join for that. You know what I mean? So, and y'all know Desmond, right?
Yeah.
He's income producing activity. He's IPA all day.
All about it.
You know what I mean? IPA all day. So y'all want to learn some sauce? Let's go get in with Desmond soon, because man, that man's phenomenal. So, but again, back to what we're talking about. You know, it feels good to have people that's like-minded, as well as you guys being in here with us. It's no coincidence. You know what I mean? Again, I think I'm getting into the word, as opposed to, you know, really not having the clarity that I have, because Letty, she listens to gospel stuff. She listens to things that the word, like on a daily basis, and I hear it, and it's in the background a lot of the time. But Eric sent me something the other day, and I found myself listening to it, and it was really attractive. You know what I mean? There was something about what Eric sent me, and I found myself listening to it for like an hour and a half, and that's not typical of me. So I know that I'm breaking barriers, and I'm coming through new, you know, some new waves, because I think I've been down and out, and for some reason it just Eric said something to me, said, well, potentially that you're missing, you know, maybe that relationship with God, and I really took that into heavy consideration. I'm like, you know what? Because I couldn't really think of what else it is. I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm I have, you know, therapy. I've got, you know, classes. I'm doing it, but I don't really have God in my life as much as I should and want to. And so that really hit home. And so having you say that, it sparked something in me, Eric. And again, having you say that prayer, just us speaking about it, is really, it's done its magic. I'm just saying. So shout out to Eric, you know, for really looking out for your boy and saying your prayer. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so we have a couple other questions for you. Baby, you want to ask him something?
I was gonna ask, how has your understanding of God, right, changed through your healing journey?
Let's go.
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
So I used to, before I fell in love with God all over again, you know, like this time it's like, I told him, I said, God, you know, I trust you in your plan, and your plan is better than my plan, because obviously what I got going on is not working. And like soon as I acknowledged that, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna give you a shot. You know, I'm gonna give you all I got. That's when it's like our relationship started to get better. Like I actually wanted to start praying. Like it didn't feel forced. You know, and I started being careful about what I prayed for, you know, because you could pray for something, and let's say if you got like a situation, like for instance, like you're going through a problem, and you might be too much. You want to remove that problem away. You could be potentially removing a blessing, you know, that he's arranging for you to have along the way. It's like a wide receiver. God is the quarterback. He's throwing you all, and like we know you have a route, you know, or an assignment, you know, and you run into your assignment, but you're not looking back to catch the blessing. Like right away, you got some stuff to do along the way. And so if you telling God, like, hey God, like I don't think this is much for me, you're gonna miss catching your blessing. You know what I'm saying? It's like which is the touchdown, you know what I'm saying? Because you can well, I ain't even gonna say the touchdown, because you can get a touchdown and still not win the game. So it's like, you know, my situation, for example, you know, I just got into some trouble, man. Like, you know, and I don't really want to like say too much of what's going on, because case is ongoing, but what I can say is I lost a lot of money, and it brought me to a place where I couldn't do anything about it but just sit in it, you know. And I couldn't call no friends. I couldn't call on my family members. You know what I'm saying? I had to take full accountability of my situation, and it hurt. I cried about it. I prayed about it every day. I prayed so hard. I'm telling y'all, I prayed every day.
No. Okay.
I was really talking to God, and I'm not finna pray that you take away the situation from me, but I'm praying that you can be here with me, you know, and give me the strength, you know, to continue to move forward and not focus on the like bad right, but just give me the strength to just endure and strengthen me for problems along the way. So I can continue to be strong. You know what I'm saying? And God has showed me I don't need to ask for external validation from my friends, you know, to heal. I don't need to like he could be with me. He could heal me inside. You know? Sometimes I don't need to heal. You need community, but also God has been telling me like in silence, like, hey, just trust in me, you know, and do what needs to be done. Focus on the assignment I gave you. Don't worry about how many followers you have or the fame or doing it for attention or outside validation. You doing it for me. And so when everybody is gone, I'm still with you. And that allows me to focus in like it alone, like in the dark where nobody's around. I'm still able to be me and be able to have God in my spirit, you know, when it's silence. I have to look myself in the mirror every day, you know. And if I can't deal with my BS, why would I expect? How can I expect anybody to put up with me if I am not able to look every day? Like, and so healing is uncomfortable. It's okay to feel uncomfortable because that uncomfortableness is God showing me, hey, you still got work to do. I'd rather be uncomfortable than be comfortable where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not growing.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it causes you to change. Like it's telling me like something's got to change. You can't keep doing the same thing. You know, and that it's annoying. It's frustrating. You know what I'm saying? I don't like. You know.
I got a question for you guys. For all of us here, I have a question for you guys about praying. I have a rest in peace to one of my good buddies, Dennis. He just passed away just recently, a few months ago. And he told me one time we started working together. I was doing plumbing, and he had said that he had this really good way about talking about the Bible and Jesus without making it sound like preaching. You know what I mean? It was like he told me he's like he would pray to God. He was a bank robber, and he told me how he would pray to God that he would get away with these robberies. And so he said, when you pray, make sure that you're very specific about what you're praying for, because God may not answer it in the time that you want. But if you pray and you got a good connection and you have good communication with God, there's a good chance that He's going to bless you with these prayers. I mean, and so he would pray for things that we would consider to be on the negative or the bad side, or here on this manly earth that would be something negative. But he said God don't see it like we do, because what's good over here is bad over here, vice versa. So just because you think it's bad in God's eyes doesn't mean that God thinks it's bad in God's eyes. He's like, some people have to do what they have to do. And he's like, so he would pray, and he would pray for these things again that we would consider to be negative. But he said, man, if you got a good communication with God and a good relationship with Him, you can get anything answered. You can get any of your blessings answered. You know what I mean? Just because it's negative to us, I mean, it's negative to Him. So how do you guys feel about praying about, anything. I mean, like, why not have a connection with God and pray about anything and everything? Again, what we think is negative, of course, we don't see, you know what I mean? Like, you know, certain things with children and doing certain, but I mean, like, who's to say what's negative and positive? God, in his eyes, he's the real judge. You know what I mean? He's the real judge. So, you know, praying about certain things, why not pray about anything and everything? Because I think what Erick did, it did something. Your prayers did something. And when me and Letty pray together, we pray before the podcast. We do pray before meals and stuff. But I feel like when we really get into prayer and we really, you know, put our two heads together and our voice and our minds, like, I feel like those are when the prayers really get answered. And I don't want to just come at God when I need something. You know, I thank God when I wake up and I'm not like on my 2 knees and I'm not praying to him like a lot of people, but I say, thank you for giving me breath. Thank you for letting my blood pump and my heart. I often refer to my heart a lot because I put a lot of damage to my heart. I did a lot of damage to my heart with drugs. You know what I mean? Like many nights up. I did substance for 20 years, you guys, and I'm like hardcore. And so for me, I did a lot of damage to this. So you know, God, please, whatever's making this heart beat and pumping my blood all the way to my toes or to my head, please continue helping me have this pump to from my whole body until I'm at least 103. I deserve to be here at least for 100 years. You know what I mean? So again, how do you guys feel about praying about anything and everything? Is there something that's out of limits for what you should pray for? Or is it okay to pray for anything?
Wow, I would say that it's okay to pray for anything. I mean, you know, I didn't want to keep. I mean, I wasn't praying to ask God to help me to keep using substance. Why? Because it was hurting me, and not just hurting me, but it was also hurting other people. Just like when I did other things that may have felt pleasurable to me, but could hurt other people, right? With their perception. At the end of the day, I think, you know, we have to accept who we are, all those parts of us, what some people call it the shadow, you know, your darker side. I know for me, you know, being a worship leader for 12 years and going to church, for me, it was all like performance based. I had to be a certain way, look a certain way, act a certain way. You know, you're a leader, right? But I'm still human, right? And I didn't learn, like I know the Bible, I know all of that stuff, but I still fell into things. Why? Because I was also judging what was going on, you know, by the church people. And those things happened to me. I made those choices too, right? And had to live through those experiences as well. And so, you know, I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. I can't speak for anyone else, right? But I wasn't over there asking God, hey, let me continue to cheat. Let me continue to, you know, hurt myself because this feels so good, right? I've experienced all of it: lust, pride, envy, sloth, in excess, and it didn't feel good. It still didn't. It didn't fill that void that I had in my heart, right? And it was that void for myself too, the love for myself. You know, how can I love my neighbor if I don't even love myself? How can I love you if I'm hurting myself? Right. I'm gonna hurt you. Because I'm hurting me.
And I've experienced it firsthand with her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I've seen her go through transitions. When we first met, she was very, very
both
high
of us,
alcohol. And I was into substance. So, and we both have come out on top. I've quit substance. I quit nicotine. I quit alcohol. I quit even caffeine, y'all. I quit. My time, I got my alarm set to call Erick.
Whoops.
So he's here because he's my accountability partner. Y'all, let me just kind of interrupt myself and say Erick is my accountability partner, and I hold that to a very high standard. And what I mean by accountability partners, we check in every day. I call him or text him 7 o'clock every night. It's 7 o'clock my time, so now is the time to call him. So I'm glad I got you on here, brother. Let's go. Okay, so again, I just wanted to, you know, just kind of say we're not here by accident. Us, all 5 of us here, was it 4 of us? All 4 of us here, not by accident. You know what I mean? God has a really crazy thing, a way of making things work together. So we definitely got to stay in touch with Trey. If you're not already following us right now, if you look down below, well, we're on YouTube as well. So just Jus Like Us, Jus Like Us on YouTube as well as Facebook. And I think that's the 2 main platforms we're on right now. So we'd love to have you maybe become on as a guest yourself at some point, Trey. But we have you on now. So either way, we're just glad to have you guys here. So is there anything that you guys want to add?
I'm gonna let Trey go first.
Go ahead, Trey.
Well, like for me, I'm trying to remember what was the question we were like talking about because we really got into everything.
just you could sum it up, like what, you know, what's on your heart.
We're talking about prayer.
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys feel about praying?
Oh, so like about prayer. For me, I've differentiated my different practices. I used to pray for different things before and learned my lesson. Like, that's not really what you're needing to like pray for. So I've learned my lesson with God through making the different mistakes. And really, they're not really mistakes. They're lessons to understand really how to pray. And for me, that set me down actually reading Bible. I like to read books a lot. So I read a lot of like self-help books to understand, because my brain's been damaged too through all the drugs and stuff like that. So I really had to get a better sense of understanding like how my brain works, how that damaged my brain, and to honestly like start to pray. Me, how I pray on a daily basis is more about gratitude. It's not even really asking for anything. It's just like being grateful for everything, being grateful for how you give me the step to go through every day, grateful for the will you already have for me, my plan. Like, I'm just more in gratitude versus asking really of anything. And that helps me to stay more centered that he already has everything under control instead of me asking. Because I feel like when I'm asking, it's like, because actually in Psalms 23, it's like part of it saying like, not to want. So me asking for what I want is actually not really allowing him to actually guide me, because how it talks about it's actually just being the sheep, letting him be the leader and just follow him, just listen to him and just like look at him. He's going to save you at any point, and it actually is good to be weak because that's when you hear him even louder. So for me, it's living in gratitude. That's how I pray. I write a lot. I journal a lot, and that's how I pray. I write it by just being in gratitude and everything he does for me in the beginning of the day, and then I do it at night. So that's how I tend to pray. And then sometimes it's just literally like a help me, because I still have those moments when those urges still come, and it's just like I don't understand why am I in this dark place, back into these addictive behaviors, and it's because it's at that point where obviously that's just where I'm at. And there's actually nothing wrong of being in that dark room, because obviously God knows that I'm supposed to be at that point in that, in that darkness, because he's just allowing me sometimes just to be realigned, just to understand that I'm just doing human behaviors. And it's really like, I can't do nothing about it because I'm still human. And those are just human reactions of still sometimes being in those addictions and those dark places. So that's what just realigns me with him. And now I don't even like, it's just like, okay, God, just take the wheel. Like, I'm here, use me how you're going to use me. And I know you're going to bring me out of the darkness. Yes. And that's how I feel about prayer and God. Yeah. For
Okay, let's go. That was a great answer.
Yeah,
that was a great answer. All of us, all around, that was a great answer. And I think it was a great question as well, because I find myself wanting to get more involved with the Creator. And I mean, listen, today I was working on some lights at my job, and I felt like this little skip in my heart, and I was like, damn, do I really want to be almost dying before I'm like really praised up and really like actually really have a relationship with God? You know what I mean? Because for reals, I had this little, there's been a couple of close calls where I even went to the hospital not too long ago. And I'm like, I don't want to be on a deathbed or die before I'm like, you know what I mean? Before I really have a connection with God and have this good relationship that I need. Because at the end of the day, like, one thing that made us, and we all know, is God. And I mean, if you guys don't, like, God obviously made everything here. So every cell in our bodies, everything that we could think of, God made. So, I am grateful for God for putting me here, because the odds of us even being here on earth, are astronomical. I mean, the fact that we're even here is a miracle, like legitly, like for real. Like, even of all the damage I've done to my body, of all the crazy things I've done, I've robbed several houses at night, hundreds and hundreds of houses at night. I've done so much things that could get me killed, and yet I'm still here. So I know God has a plan for me. And so me purposely, I need to be more involved with God and the light and the word, because I know I'm the light. I'm not the light, but I know I'm light in general, So if I asked to be here, which I hope I did, I'm pretty sure I must have, because I'm going strong. I love life. And so for me, I feel like, it's only right to get in, in good with God because He made me, and so I just want to have a better relationship with Him. So I'm glad we just discussed this today and talked about this as a topic because I feel like it's necessary, man. I feel like you guys are here for a reason, and I'm glad that we all talked about this topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's I've lived hell right here, right now, right? But I can also live heaven. That's my choice. I get to choose that every day, right? By going in. It's going in and realigning, like what you said, Trayshawn. Realigning with that divinity, that God within me. That's the confidence that I have. It's not in myself, but it is in the God in me, because I tried it my way. I did things, like I said, we talked about it, that hurt myself, that hurt others, that hurt my community too. And, I get the opportunity to relive, right? Have that rebirth and have a brand new way to live and not just be stuck up here in my head, but actually living the message, right? And for me, it's, man, Christian rap. What up, yo?
That's a big deal.
Like
right
every
now.
day in my car, like even here at home, he'll tell you, like, that's my jam. Those are my jams. Those are those hymns, it speaks of struggle and of overcoming and letting go of yourself. We're so afraid, like, I've got to be the center stage. I've got to, it's when you let go. It's when you let him be, that strength in your weakness, that everybody shines, right? It's not about, I need to be here, or I need to be the best, or I need to, for me, it isn't. Right. But it used to be. And Will Smith, I heard, I don't know if some of you, he was, I can't remember if it was Instagram or TikTok, one of the two, but he was talking about not just rock bottom, but being on the mountaintop.
Erick Rand is that too. Yeah.
Right.
It's not just being on rock
I
bottom.
was like,
but
man,
the plateau
exactly.
At the top,
because I've been down here, but I've been up here too. And they were both the same. What I lost was me. What I lost was my connection with God.
We seen it before you sent it, but you sent it to us, and I was like, we'd already seen that. But it was a really good post that he had made, and it was like, you could tell Will Smith was coming from the heart. Like, there's really no difference from this one end of the spectrum to the other. You could be at the top of your peak, but that doesn't mean you're going to be happy. And I know a lot of us who haven't made millions might think that the money's going to be, But he was making a point saying, like, you can still be alone and have all the money in the world. If you ain't good with God, if you're not, good with yourself, then there's a real good chance that you're not going to be happy with anything that you have. So, I thought that was real good. That was a real good post.
And so I think that the reason why we went through, some of these things, the pride, the dying of your ego, the highs and the lows, right, is so that we can go inside, and because it is an inside job. There's nothing I was looking for it all out here. Yeah. Right. And the whole time it really was inside. I just had to go inward, and it was scary. I was afraid. I was like, man, what am I going to find when I get in there? Like, I don't even like myself right now. And there's a lot of people that don't like me right now, but it was scary, but it was so necessary. Like, once I started going inside, I was like, oh, wait, okay. This ain't so bad after. Oh, wait, maybe I'm not that bad. Maybe I'm not this great, but maybe I'm not that bad either. Right. And just, it's a remembering. We either operate out of love or fear. Those are like the two. And I've operated out of fear in a lot of areas in my life, but I've also allowed love, right, to come in.
Yeah.
And
love. I love love.
And go out. Yeah, I do love
love.
Anyways,
right.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So we got a couple more minutes left before we wrap it up. I did want to say thank you to both of you, and I just want to open the floor real quick before we close out. We usually typically keep it under an hour, just out of respect for anybody who's watching. So means that they go eat dinner or whatever it is that they want to do. Yeah. But I just want to open up to you guys before we close out on any lasting feelings about what do you guys want to leave the people with on a note.
So I just want to let everybody know, like, the Sounds Free project, I created it to it exists because I wanted to help the younger generation in second chance to find, like, purpose, have faith, and stability, and just remind, like, even though in the dark time, God is still there, it may feel like, you know, you're going through it alone, but he will never forsake you. He will never leave you. And, you know, there's always people out there that will that love you and care about you. And the community that I'm building, we're going to basically be connected with the churches, prisons, and like just the barbershops and the veteran organizations. And the ways to support us is just, you know, you can volunteer your skills or your time. You know, you can like give out resources to us and pray for us. You know, like in the men that we serve. You know, and it isn't it isn't you know, it's a serious feel to it, but I wanted it to be faith based to where just like everybody is able to can come to God. You know, there's nobody that is exempt, or it doesn't matter how many drugs you did, how many times you went to prison, all the mistakes. God will forgive you if you have a sincere heart. He will forgive you. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there that will support you. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
And I know I was going to say, I know we put in Erick's here on our ticker, so you'll be able to see that if you go back to watch the replay, or if you're watching now, the Psalm 23 project at gmail.com, or easy cuts with a K 24 at gmail.com.
Yes, absolutely.
If any of this resonated with you and you want to get with Erick, feel free to reach out to him. Again, we want to thank you, Erick and Trayshawn, for coming on and just blessing us and opening up conversation, right? And being a part of seeing everybody win.
Yeah.
Right. That's right, what this is all about. It's pulling together all of our resources, everything that our experiences, everything we've gone through, and where we're going.
Yes.
And we get to do that, you know, together.
We're a lot like you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys are a lot just like us. And so I want to actually ask if you'd like to mention anything as well, Trey, if you want to you know, say anything before we close out.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. And just, you know, just grateful. I'm living in gratitude right now. I wasn't expecting this, but I appreciate this because I'm learning how to, you know, have my voice again. So I appreciate having this opportunity to share my voice with y'all on this platform, because I think that is a big thing that I am trying to do out also in the community, is sharing my voice to let people know they are not alone. Like, we literally are all connected. So yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Like it or not, we are.
Right. Yes.
Deal with it.
So that's a wrap for us here on Just Like Us. And we want to say thank you to Trey. Thank you to Erick for being our guest here today, you guys. This was phenomenal. It was raw. It was real. It was from the heart. You know, we even spoke about, you know, the Bible and some verses. So again, I want to say thank you to both of you for being here. Lady, thank you for looking so beautiful and just being yourself.
Thanks,
you know what I mean? We had fun. And, you know, if you guys aren't following us, be sure to follow us on Just Like Us with no T, Just Like Us. We're on all platforms, so make sure to follow us on those. We're on YouTube. But again, we want to say thank you to all our guests and everybody coming on. Guys, make sure that you tune in this Friday for Desmond Soon. This is going to be a game changer, y'all. IPA, straight up income producing activities. Us four here know Desmond Soon very intimately. We all know what he's doing and what he's about. So be sure to tune in for Desmond Soon coming up on Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You got to join us there for that. We love you guys. Shout out to everybody who served. Thank you again to all you guys for your service. And we will see you guys on the next episode of Just Like Us. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
See you.
Love you.
Peace.
Bye.